S. Chand presents Educational Video Lectures as per the new UGC curriculum. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
Welcome to the S. Chand Academy. We are here to discuss about the offer and acceptance, which is our next topic in business regulatory framework.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. Chand Publishing and Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box.
So let's begin. My name is Mohit Kapil and I'm here to teach you a business regulatory framework. So let's begin. So I'm here to teach you business regulatory framework, which is also known as business law and mercantile law. So with reference to the last video, we had a discussion regarding the fundamentals of Indian Contract Act, essentials of a valid contract, and the classifications of contract on 4 different bases. Okay, so now let us talk about the offer and acceptance here. ABC company offered a partnership to XYZ company. Let me repeat first. In order to understand these two terms, there is an exercise which is going on here. After studying this particular this example, you will get it clear what is offer and acceptance. ABC company, there are 2 different companies, ABC and XYZ. When ABC company offered a partnership to XYZ company, after careful consideration, when XYZ company accepted the offer, this signifies their agreement which collaborates them. Their partnership thrived and they resulted into mutual growth, success and shared achievements. This is just because of the acceptance and offer and acceptance. Let us move to the next slide to make it more clear what is offer and what is an acceptance. So after reading this example, you'll come to know what is offer is all about, what an offer is all about. How does a company gives a job to candidate? Very simple. The company offers the job position by giving an offer letter, and when the candidate accepts that job offer, they comes into a contract. Let me reiterate. Here I am talking about an offer again. How does a company give a jobs to the candidate? Very simple. The company literally offers the job position by giving an offer letter. And when the candidate accepts that offer letter or say job offer, they comes into a contract which is also known as employment contract, which we had a discussion in the last video. Let us understand the next point, which is very important. What is offer and acceptance here? Till now we have discussed about all the essentials of a valid contract, and we know that what are the essentials of a valid contract. In order to have a valid contract, there must be 2 or more parties involved in it. There must be a free consent into that, and the parties, those who are entering into a contract, they must have legal and positive intentions. And apart from that, there are other essentials which we have already been discussed. Okay, so now we will be discussing about what is offer and acceptance. So therefore there must be a lawful offer and lawful acceptance in order to form a contract. So I hope this point is clear to you that what is offer and what is an acceptance. So in order to form a valid contract, you need an agreement and enforceability, and in order to have that agreement, you need to have an offer and acceptance. I hope the topic is clear to you. I am moving to the next slide now to make it more clear. Now let us understand in a thorough what is an offer. The word offer and proposal are absolutely similar, or you can say synonymous to each other, but they have used interchangeably. There are various vital elements of an offer. In order to offer something, we should know what are the essential elements required to make an offer valid. Number 1, expression of willingness from one person to the another person to do or not to do something. We know that in order to form a contract, there are always 2 parties involved in it. So when both the parties expresses their willingness from both the persons to do or not to do something, that makes an offer. Apart from that, the expression must be made from one person to the another person to get their consent between them. It means whatever the contract you people are trying to form, if the expression from one person is not giving that confidence to come into that contract, then that means that is not a valid offer. So the these two different points are really essential for an offer. Let us move to the next slide to make it more clear. In order to have an offer in a contract, right? Let's say I have till now I have discussed about contract. How do we form a contract? Remember the formula which I told you. A contract is the combination of an offer and acceptance. In order to have that offer, how many people are involved in it? So in this particular sense, there are different parties involved in it. The number one, the person who offers is called an offerer. The person who offers something to the another person is called as an offerer. And the person who accepts the offer is called as an offeree. So please make a note of it. There are two different parties are involved in it with special reference to the offer. The number one is offerer, and the person who accepts the offer, that is an offeree. I hope the point is clear to all of you. Let us move to the next slide. So now there are legal rules to form a valid offer. Let us understand that. An offer may be a specific or general. Let me highlight something here which is very important, and that is specific or general. An offer may be a specific offer or it can be a general offer. For example, if an offer of a reward of rupees 1000 is awarded to anyone who will find the lost item of Mr. X or Mr. B, or whatever the name is there, that is a general offer in a public. That is a general offer which has been made by a person in a public. That is known as general offer. Let us talk about the specific offer. If the same situation occurs again and that particular task has been specifically given to Mr. B here, then that is known as specific offer, because that offer has been specifically remarked to Mr. B here. So, but if an offer is made to Mr. B to find his lost item, then that can be referred as specific offer. I hope this particular legal rule to make a valid offer is clear to you. Let us move to the next rule. An offer to do something is positive and not to do something is negative. It means there are other two more types of valid offer. Number one, a positive offer, which means to do something. When a person asks some other person to do something, that is a positive offer. And when a person denies to do something, that is a negative offer. Let us move to the next point. The terms and conditions of an offer must be certain and they should not contain any loose condition. Let me tell you guys, in order to have a valid contract, the offer should also be a valid offer. So in order to have a valid offer, that should contain certain elements there, and out of those certain elements, the terms and conditions should be certain over there. If the terms and conditions in an offer is vague, and if you are losing any content, if you are giving any loose content to in the terms and conditions of a valid offer, that will lead to voidable agreement, or we can say that will lead to invalid offer. We can say not a voidable agreement, we can say that would be lead to invalid offer. So this is I hope this point is clear to you. Let us move to the next point. An offer must be definite. That means if an offer has been made to supply specific raw material to Mr. Y from Mr. A, that is a definite offer, because that has been definitely given to Mr. Y. Another point is an offer can be a standing offer, which is also known as an open offer. I repeat, an offer can be a standing offer and it is also known as open offer. For example, in order to understand the standing offer, let us refer to an example. If the same order, like this order has been given in the last point, if the same order is made on the specific requirement of the offeree, then it would be known as an open offer, which is also known as a standing offer. So what we have studied in this particular slide, let me get back to the slide again. So in this particular slide, we have discussed about the legal rules to form a valid offer. The first point was an offer may be a specific or a general, and the second point was an offer can be a positive or negative. The third point we have discussed related to the terms and conditions of an offer, which should be certain over there. They should not contain any loose content there. The third point is an offer can be definite. It can be definitely given to anyone else in the particular thing, but anyone else means he should be sound mind person or should meet all the essentials of a valid contract. And apart from that, an offer can be a standing offer, which is also known as open offer. Let us move to the next slide. Now this is the question time. A standing offer means an offer that is made to supply the goods or services periodically and in accordance with the requirement of the proposer. Is it true or false? In order to have the answer here, stay connected with us. We'll get back to you.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on UGC curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting within the comfort of your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
So welcome back to S. Chand Academy. My name is Mohit Kapil. So we were talking about the offer and acceptance. So in the last slide, we had a discussion regarding the question. In order to have the answer of that question, please stay connected with this. I'll definitely let you know the answer during this particular lecture. Let us move to the next slide so that you can get the answer of that particular question in a very clear mode. अब हम बात करेंगे acceptance की. Acceptance होता क्या है exactly? मैंने आपको बताया, आई टोल्ड यू कि किसी भी एक वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को बनाने के लिए वी नीड टू डिफरेंट इंग्रेडिएंट्स. नंबर वन एनफोर्सेबिलिटी, नंबर वन एग्रीमेंट एंड नंबर टू इज एनफोर्सेबिलिटी. एग्रीमेंट को बनाने के लिए वी ऑलवेज हैव टू डिफरेंट ऑप्शन, टू डिफरेंट इंग्रेडिएंट्स. नंबर वन ऑफर, एक आदमी को ऑफर करना बहुत जरूरी है और दूसरे आदमी का उसको एक्सेप्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है. तो वो जो एक्सेप्टेंस का पार्ट है, दिस इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस हियर. लेट अस हैव अ लुक इनटू इट. इसको और अच्छे से समझने के लिए हम थोड़ा सा और नीचे चलते हैं एंड देखते हैं कि एग्जैक्टली एक्सेप्टेंस होता क्या है. A contract is said to be a valid contract if a valid offer has been accepted. एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को हमेशा से वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तभी कहा जाता है कि जब एक वैलिड ऑफर को हम एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हो. देयर आर ऑलवेज टू मोड्स ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस. लेट मी टेल यू गाइस, एक्सेप्टेंस को अचीव करने के लिए हमारे पास दो डिफरेंट तरीके के मोड्स होते हैं. पहला है एक्सेप्टेंस बाय ईदर राइटिंग और स्पोकन वर्ड्स, व्हिच इज आल्सो नोन एज एक्सप्रेस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, और यू कैन से एक्सप्रेस एक्सेप्टेंस. We have already gone through this particular term when we were talking about in the last slide. So we were talking about there are always two modes of acceptance. हमेशा से acceptance के दो modes रहे हैं. पहला express acceptance, दूसरा है implied acceptance. We have already studied this particular term, express and implied. Express मैंने आपको बताया था express contract, implied मैंने आपको बताया था implied contract. Express contract is a contract which is always expressed either in writing or by spoken words. And what is an implied contract? Kindly recall the example. मैंने आपको जो बताया था implied के बारे में. For example, अगर मैं आपको एक बार और example दे देता हूँ कि हम रोड पे चल रहे हैं और एक वेइंग मशीन सामने है, और अगर वेइंग मशीन पे जाकर के मैं अगर अपना वेट चेक कर रहा हूं तो सामने वो एक implied contract क्रिएट कर रहा है, क्योंकि वो वहां पर इसीलिए खड़ा है बिकॉज अगर आप आए तो वेट चेक करें. वो उन्होंने नहीं कहा कि आप आइए और वेट चेक कीजिए, बट आप खुद से उनके पास गए. दैट इज एन implied contract. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, उसके अलावा मैं एक और एग्जाम्पल दे देता हूं कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक बर्थडे केक आपके घर पर डिलीवर हो गया अनफॉर्चुनेटली, एंड यू कैन से फॉर्चुनेटली ऑल्सो, बट लेकिन आपने वो बर्थडे केक ऑर्डर नहीं किया था, बट आपने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है. एंड या तो आप उसको पैसे दे दीजिए या फिर आप उसको रिटर्न कर दीजिए. तो ऐसे पर्टिकुलर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स को हम लोग इंप्लाइड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कहते हैं. आई होप द पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन. सो एक्सेप्टेंस के लिए भी एक्सप्रेस एक्सेप्टेंस एंड इंप्लाइड एक्सेप्टेंस होना बहुत जरूरी है. So there are always two modes of acceptance. In order to recapitalize this particular slide, let us have a look into it. A contract is said to be a valid contract if a valid offer has been accepted, and there are always two modes of acceptance. Number one is express acceptance and the second one is implied acceptance. So the acceptance by the conduct of parties or any situation, that is always known as implied acceptance. Let us have the another form of slide here. And this slide actually tells us about the essentials of a valid acceptance. किसी भी particular acceptance के लिए क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं जो कि बहुत ही जरूरी हैं, आज हम इस particular slide में उसको पढ़ने वाले हैं. Let us have a look into it. An acceptance must be communicated to the proposer. Acceptance बनता किस चीज से है बॉस? पहले कोई आपको ऑफर करेगा तभी तो आप किसी चीज को एक्सेप्ट करोगे. तो जो आपको वो ऑफर कर रहा है, ही इज एन ऑफरर, एंड जब आप उसको एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं, देन यू आर बिकमिंग एन ऑफरी. अगर आपको ऑफरर कुछ ऑफर कर रहा है, देन वी कैन आल्सो से दैट ही इज एन ऑफरर एंड ही कैन बी ए प्रपोजर. तो यहां पर एक एक्सेप्टेंस को हमें प्रपोजर को यानी कि ऑफरर को कन्वे करना बहुत जरूरी है कि हाँ, मेरे को जो भी आप चीज कहना चाह रहे हो. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर सामने वाला मुझे कार बेचने की कोशिश कर रहा है, एंड इफ आई एम सेइंग हिम यस आई एम ओके विद दैट, आई विल पे यू ₹2 लाख एंड प्लीज सेल दैट कार टू मी. तो ये आपका एक एक्सेप्टेंस वहां पे दिख रहा है. तो दिस इज व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. एन एक्सेप्टेंस मस्ट बी कम्युनिकेटेड टू द प्रपोजर or their authorized representative. What do we call it that? Let me tell you. Authorized representative मतलब जैसे कि for example मैंने किसी को authorize कर दिया कि मेरी जगह पर जाकर के आप उससे acceptance ले सकते हैं. Is that clear? The second rule, which is very important to make a valid acceptance, and that is acceptance must show legal intentions to accept the offer. अब आप मान के चलिए आप किसी चीज को एक्सेप्ट करना चाह रहे हैं बट लेकिन आपकी उसके पीछे लीगल इंटेंशंस नहीं है. अगर आपकी लीगल इंटेंशंस नहीं है, अगर आपकी पॉजिटिव इंटेंशंस नहीं है, और बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, द वाइटल पॉइंट, अगर आपकी सेम इंटेंशंस नहीं है, देन दैट कैन नॉट बी ए वैलिड एक्सेप्टेंस. दैट विल ऑलवेज नोन एज इनवैलिड एक्सेप्टेंस. The third point is, in order to get fruitful association, हम सभी को पता है हम business organizations में हमेशा से fruitful associations करने की ही कोशिश करते हैं so that we can earn a good amount of money. So हालांकि एक मनी ही एक ऐसा फैक्टर नहीं है, मनी के साथ साथ कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, लोगों की सहायता करना भी हमारा एक कर्तव्य है. सो इन ऑर्डर टू गेट फ्रूटफुल एसोसिएशन, जो एक्सेप्टेंस है दैट मस्ट बी एग्जीक्यूटेड विद इन द टाइम फ्रेम स्पेसिफाइड इन द ऑफर. जब कभी भी किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक ऑफर क्रिएट किया जाता है, देन दैट कंटेन्स अ स्पेसिफाइड टाइम फ्रेम. अगर आपने उस एक्सेप्टेंस को उस टाइम फ्रेम में कन्वर्ट नहीं किया, अगर आपने किसी की एक्सेप्टेंस को उस टाइम फ्रेम में नहीं दिया, सो दैट देयर कम्स अप ब्रीच ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. क्योंकि वहां पे उस पर्टिकुलर ऑफर में ये साफ लिखा था कि अगर आपको ये ऑफर करना है तो मुझे 3 महीने के अंदर मुझे ये पैसे चाहिए. अगर आपने वो पैसे उसको 3 महीने के अंदर नहीं दिए तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली एक डैमेज क्रिएट कर रहा है, स्पॉइल क्रिएट कर रहा है. व्हाट डू वी कॉल दैट? स्पॉइलेज. जो कि आपकी इमेज भी खराब कर रहा है, साथ साथ आपने जो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया था वो भी खराब कर रहा है. सो लेट अस हैव अ लुक इनटू इट. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट व्हिच इज एब्सोल्युटली क्लियर टू यू नाउ. सो इन ऑर्डर टू हैव अ फ्रूटफुल एसोसिएशन, acceptance must be executed within the time frame, which is always very important, and we absolutely understand that time never stops. Time is really very important. Next point, which is not the least point but it is very important point. In order to be legally effective, an acceptance must be unqualified. Let me tell you, this point is little difficult, little technical in nature, but yes, with the help of an example, you will get it very clear. In order to be legally effective, an acceptance must be unqualified and absolute. Let me highlight these two words so that you can get the answer. In order to be legally effective, an acceptance must be unqualified and absolute of all the terms of an offer. What does it mean? That means if Mohit offered to Roshan his car for rupees 20,000 and Roshan accepted the offer and tendered rupees 19,000 as a cash payment, and Roshan is promising to Mr. Mohit that he'll pay the rest of the amount by the next morning, then there is no contract. Because I'm emphasizing here. क्यों? Why? भाई उसने उसको कार देने को ऑफर किया, 20,000 देने को वो भी तैयार है, बट लेकिन उसने 19,000 दे दिए और वो कह रहा है कि मैं नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग में 1,000 रुपए दे दूंगा. व्हाट अ बिग डील. बट लेकिन ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्यों नहीं कह रहा है? द रीजन बीइंग इज बिकॉज हमारी कंडीशन है एक वैलिड एक्सेप्टेंस की. व्हाट इज दैट? That the valid acceptance, that valid acceptance must be unqualified and that should be absolute. That should be absolute. So there is no contract because even with the slightest of the change in the terms and conditions, that can unqualify, the acceptance can unqualify and that can result to no absolute of the acceptance. अगर आपने अपने आप से कोई भी slightest change किया, that will become an invalid acceptance. I hope this particular slide is absolutely clear to you. Let us recapitalize once again so that we can move to the next slide here. The number one point is an acceptance must be communicated. Communications बहुत जरूरी है. Communication gap जहां पर भी create होता है वो हमेशा से एक problematic situation create करता ही करता है. Number two, legal intentions, contract, law, legally. ये तो बहुत ही जरूरी है. लीगैलिटी होना बहुत जरूरी है. नंबर 3 पॉइंट, इन ऑर्डर टू गेट फ्रूटफुल एसोसिएशन एंड एक्सेप्टेंस मस्ट बी एग्जीक्यूटेड विद इन द टाइम फ्रेम. यहां पर आपको पता चलता है जैसे कि आपकी पढ़ाई के लिए टाइम इंपॉर्टेंट है, ऐसी किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एक टाइम की क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है. एंड द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज विच वाज टेक्निकल इन नेचर एंड दैट इज लीगली अगर किसी चीज को इफेक्टिव बनाना है तो अगर आपने किसी भी पर्टिकुलर टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस को अगर आपने स्लाइटली अपने हिसाब से चेंज करने की कोशिश की, देन दैट विल लीड टू अनक्वालिफाइड valid acceptance. I hope this particular slide is absolutely clear to you. Let us move to the next slide. मैंने अभी तक आपको बताया कि essentials क्या होते हैं. This particular slide will also continue with the same essentials here. These are the 3 more essentials which will definitely help you to make a valid acceptance whenever you will start your business or whenever you will enter into any business, transaction. The next point is acceptance should not precede the offer. How do we make a contract? We make a contract by offering something and then person accepts the offer. But here, the acceptance should not precede the offer. इसका मतलब क्या है? It means the acceptance must be given after receiving the offer. Once a candidate gets the offer letter from the company, then only he can give the acceptance ना. अगर पहले ही जॉब ऑफर नहीं मिला, जी हाँ जी बिल्कुल एग्री जी, पता चला बाद में आपकी जॉब में जो आप नहीं चाहते थे वो सब मिल रहा है, तो फिर आप क्या करोगे? इट इज एब्सोल्युटली क्लियर, अगर एक वैलिड एक्सेप्टेंस क्रिएट करना है, देन इट शुड नॉट प्रीसीड द ऑफर. नंबर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, इफ एन ऑफर वंस रिजेक्टेड इट कैन नॉट बी एक्सेप्टेड अगेन अनलेस, अगर आपने कोई एक फ्रेश ऑफर नहीं क्रिएट किया है. प्लीज मेक ए नोट ऑफ इट. कोई भी रिजेक्टेड ऑफर, rejected offer, it cannot accepted again, and that cannot make a valid acceptance. And the third point, which is not the least, there are multiple essentials, because the time is dynamic in nature, the environment is dynamic, because once the environment changes, people changes, the technology changes, and in fact the laws also changes. Okay, so the next point is communication of acceptance, which is always vital in nature, without which a contract may be not sufficient. Because in order to form a contract, the communication of acceptance, the communication of offer, the communication of each and everything, whatever the terms and conditions are there, that should be communicated between both the parties. I hope this particular video is clear to you. This particular slide is clear to you. Let us recapitalize this slide. It means the number one, the acceptance should not precede the offer. The number 2 point is that the offer once rejected, it cannot be accepted again unless a fresh document, the fresh document, the white paper जिस पे लिखा जाता है, वापस से अगर आप लिख करके देते हैं, that makes an offer, valid acceptance. And the next point is communication of acceptance, which is always vital in nature, because उसके बिना contract क्या कोई भी नहीं आगे बढ़ेगा. Is that clear? So अगर आप एक BCom student हैं और अगर आपको जिंदगी में आगे business करना है, if you really want to run your own business, if you want to give a start, then please have a look into it. This subject is really very important for your career ahead. Let us move to the next slide. So let us wind up this video by concluding the entire slides over here. Let us recapitalize what we have studied till now, because this is really very important. Let us have a look into it. हमने अभी तक क्या-क्या discuss किया? We have discussed about the term offer. We have also discussed about कि offer क्या होता है? How do we form an offer? How do we form a valid offer? What are the essentials are required to form a valid offer? उसके बाद we had a discussion regarding acceptance. What is a valid acceptance? What are the legal rules required to form a valid acceptance? All right, and when the valid offer and valid acceptance is there, and what do we do that? You make a contract, and that can be a valid contract. So in order to run a business, in order to form a business, in order to be a part of that business, you should know what are the essentials required to form a valid offer, valid acceptance that particularly constitutes a valid contract. Guys, this was the question. I hope you remember this question time. This is the right time and the high time now to get the answer of this question. A standing offer means an offer that is made to supply the goods or services periodically. Let me tell you something. Periodically, please make a note of it. Periodically and in accordance with the requirement of the proposer. Is it true or false? If you remember, a standing offer is also known as an open offer. And if something is an open, then that means that services are given periodically and specifically in accordance with the requirement of that particular client, or you can say proposer or offerer. So this is absolutely true.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. Chan Publishing and Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.